It's funny because leading up to this fight, I made so many jokes about, how many other fights that we could have maybe had as the main event. But, in all seriousness, when you look at the rankings of both fighters, they're actually the highest ranked fighters in their respective divisions. And to be quite honest, go through their records. And frankly, these girls are primo. And we're talking about the losses too, right? When you're losing to the Tisha Torreses and the Rose Namajunas of the world, it sets the tone for who you are as a fighter. And I think that Michelle Waterson really, that Angela Hill fight for me, whoever you thought what, I think that could have gone either way. I really felt like that was one where we saw the heart. We just saw how good she was able to, outlast her opponent, utilize her game plan, stick to the kicks. I don't want to say that, but that's where I'm seeing some really good success from her across the board. And when you go to Marina Rodriguez, I feel like she's someone that's, crawling up the ranks very quietly, not the fighter that everybody really wants to talk about because of how many other fighters we've kind of, got at the top right now that are just flying with so much, just positive energy and things like Rose Namajunas winning the title, Valentina Shevchenko. But in any case, Carla Esparza, my favorite, if not one of my favorite female fighters, just for everything she's accomplished and has beaten both of these ladies. And when you look at their UFC records, it's fighters like that, who have touched gold that are posing problems. Tisha Torres is coming back very strong again. And for me, with Marina Rodriguez, it's like this is where the bump really comes from. When you have those wins on your record, she's been able to beat the Tisha Torreses. She's actually come away with victories over Amanda Ribas, who's on early in the fight anyways, via finish. So I think that's where we're seeing the growth of what really could be a potential title challenger in the near future because, a big win against Michelle Waterson, who's probably in that realm now as well, working her way back up. I think that's where, these two are very exciting. Cynthia Calvillo, draw. She's had draws with Randa Marcos too. Like that's where I'm seeing so much excitement coming out of her camp. I feel like she's more of the fists of flying, whereas Michelle Waterson's going to definitely be throwing a lot of kicks. And when you go look at the stats, a lot of head strikes, things like that from both fighters. But I do think that Michelle Waterson's going to be attacking via distance, coming in with the kicks a lot more. I think Marina Rodriguez is going to be able to close the distance, throw her boxing out there. That's what's really got her to this point. And when you look at some of the other comparable stats, both these girls pretty much fight the distance. Rarely are they kind of seeing anything under that in 12 minutes and 13 to 14 minutes of fight time. Those are the things that I like to look out at. And, striking actually very much similar, on par at the 50-49% range. And they take similar amount of damage. Like, this is a very close fight. And I think their defense, 59% Marina, 67% for Michelle Waterson. Like, these are the things that I love about both fighters because I think it's going to be very, very close. And you're just going to have this, boxer style striker and karate style fighter that are really going to be able to showcase which one is better, at least from their skill standpoint. Because in the fight against Angela Hill with Michelle Waterson, I think that she was able to prove that, the footwork, the dancing, the boxing, the stick and move, to be honest, can get tiring. And someone with good heart, good cardio, who's kind of managing their output a bit better, can kind of steal the fight in the last few rounds and come away with that split decision. So with Angela, it's very, similar topic of just like that, always the bridesmaid, never the bride with Donald Cerrone. But like, you can kind of make a similar argument right now for Michelle Waterson, who's now facing, getting back to facing some of the best in, after losing to Rose Namajunas and fighters like that. Got to be excited for it. I think that there's potential for a finish here. I think that if Marina Rodriguez can land pretty strongly, there's a chance that Michelle Waterson does go down, and it would be interesting to see the lines. There's a bunch of, I think two or three fights where I really do think that if you're playing the Vegas lines, the unders and the not to go the distance are definitely in play. And with this one especially, I think that if it's leaning towards the juicier side, where there could be a finish, I think this is one to very much consider. The thing about Michelle Waterson is she's just such a gamer with so much heart. You saw in the Rose Namajunas fight, the way she had to tap. It's just like, Rose is like, okay, I got to do this, girl, and just, finish her in a big way. And with Marina Rodriguez, it's kind of similar. The way you saw, that fight go down against Amanda Ribas, I think she showcased really good accuracy in a position where, I think the fight was relatively close, and it's just the sloppiness versus the technical striker just came out in a big way. And, her only loss is a split to my girl Carla Esparza. So for me, it's like she's naturally able to keep the fights close. So I'm actually excited mostly to see what that underline looks like. So I'll take a look at that. But that's outside of that, I think Michelle Waterson probably a bit of an underdog. I mean, we're going to check out the lines right now. But again, when you're thinking about the puncher versus the kicker, I mean, a part of me wants to give some credit to the kicker, but at the same time, like, the power needs to be there. I think that she's got the heart, she's got the cardio, and skill always. But at the same time, I think Marina's going to really bring a fighting style that it's going to be a bit more overwhelming than, say, you know, a jabber and you know, combo style puncher like an Angela Hill that took her to a split. So let's take a look. Oh, damn. That moved big time. Wow. Okay. So Marina Rodriguez opened at a -155 and now coming in at a -220, -225. That's a big deal. I mean, Michelle Waterson opened at a +135 and now coming at a +170. I mean, to be quite honest, is that a sprinkling opportunity? I'm not even sure. I mean, I personally don't see it. I'm sure a lot of people will. I think that at that -155, if you did get on Marina Rodriguez, I think that's phenomenal value. I think that that's a fighter that, you know, when you look at what she's been able to do in the octagon, I think that it's going to be very tough for Michelle Waterson to not only have to do what she's able to do for 3 rounds, but all 5. And if it's similar to, you know, what we've seen in the Angela Hill fight, that's where I can kind of see her having success, right? Maybe deal with some damage. Keep the fight real close in the first 3 rounds, where maybe you can steal one of those rounds and then really give it your all in those rounds 4 and 5, where maybe Marina might not be so experienced and might actually lose a bit of her step, being, you know, some of the power that she has and how she likes to strike in volumes, especially early. But yeah, I think leg kicks, get her slow, you know, work in maybe some of that ground game if it's there. That Jackson Wink boys, you know, they don't play around. And I think that if she's able to kind of showcase all of that, there's a very good chance she can pull off this upset. But if she's standing in boxing range, getting beat up, you know, that's the stuff you want to avoid in this fight. And I just think right now the lines are dictating that it's a big opportunity for Marina Rodriguez. So, I mean, that's pretty much the whole card there. And, you know, I would be lying if I didn't say, you know, the prelims, as usual, have some really, really good fights that could easily be on the main card, and obviously vice versa. But at the same time, losing 2 big fights was kind of the rough part for me. But like, the fact that we still get to see the Diego Ferreira fight is pretty amazing. I think that's a big one to watch. And, you know, Donald Cerrone, every time he steps in there, man, you gotta have that heart in it. You know, it's one of the best fighters to watch on the planet. And so, you know, really looking forward to this one. We got so many fights this weekend, media access for Bellator and PFL. So thank you guys for everything. Please like, follow, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. It's been a pleasure. Looking forward to the next one. Peace.